I want to ask you about the broader Muslim world, but let me one final thing about the Palestinian-Israeli theater. There are many Palestinians and Israelis who are very frustrated now with the current conditions, and they are losing hope, and they are disillusioned, and they believe that time is running out on the two-state solution, mainly because of the settlement activities in Palestinian occupied territories. Will it still be possible to see a Palestinian state, and we know the contours of it, within the first Obama administration?
I think it is possible for us to see a Palestinian state, I'm not going to put a time frame on it, that is contiguous, that allows freedom of movement for its people, that allows for trade with other countries, that allows the creation of businesses and commerce so that people have a better life. And look, I think anybody who has studied the region recognizes that the situation for the ordinary Palestinian in many cases has not improved. And the bottom line in all these talks and all these conversations is a child in the Palestinian territories going to be better off? Do they have a future for themselves? And is the child in Israel going to feel confident about his or her safety and security? And if we can keep our focus on making their lives better and look forward and not simply think about all the conflicts and tragedies of the past, then I think that we have an opportunity to make real progress. But it is not going to be easy, and that's why we've got George Mitchell going there. This is somebody with extraordinary patience as well as extraordinary skill, and that's what's going to be necessary.
Let me take a broader look at the whole region. You are planning to address the Muslim world within your first 100 days from a Muslim capital. And everybody's speculating about the capital. If you have anything to tell us, that would be great. How concerned are you? Because let me tell you, honestly, when I see certain things about America, in some parts, I don't want to exaggerate, there is a demonization of America.
Absolutely.
It's become like a new religion, and like a new religion has new converts, like a new religion has its own high priest, its own even religious text. And in the last, since 9/11, and because of Iraq, that alienation, is wider between the Americans and in generations past, the United States was held high. It was the only Western power with no colonial legacy. I mean, how concerned are you? And because people sense that you have a different political discourse, and I think, judging by what Al-Qaeda says, Zawahiri and Osama bin Laden and all these chorus,
they seem nervous.
They seem very nervous, exactly. And now, tell me why they should be more nervous.
Well, I think that when you look at the rhetoric that they've been using against me, before I even took office,
I know.
What that tells me is that their ideas are bankrupt. There's no actions that they've taken that say a child in the Muslim world is getting a better education because of them, or has better health care because of them. In my inauguration speech, I spoke about you will be judged on what you build, not what you destroy. And what they've been doing is destroying things. And over time, I think the Muslim world has recognized that that path is leading no place except more death and destruction. Now, my job is to communicate the fact that the United States has a stake in the well-being of the Muslim world, that the language we use has to be language of respect. I have Muslim members of my family. I have lived in Muslim countries.
The largest one.
The largest one, Indonesia. And so what I want to communicate is the fact that in all my travels throughout the Muslim world, what I've come to understand is that regardless of your faith, and America is a country of Muslim, Jews, Christians, non-believers, regardless of your faith, people all have certain common hopes and common dreams. And my job is to communicate to the American people that the Muslim world is filled with extraordinary people who simply want to live their lives and see their children live better lives. My job to the Muslim world is to communicate that the Americans are not your enemy, We sometimes make mistakes. We have not been perfect. But if you look at the track record, as you say, America was not born as a colonial power, and that the same respect and partnership that America had with the Muslim world as recently as 20 or 30 years ago, there's no reason why we can't restore that. And that, I think, is going to be an important task. But ultimately, people are going to judge me not by my words, but by my actions and my administration's actions. And I think that what you will see over the next several years is that I'm not going to agree with everything that some Muslim leader may say or what's on a television station in the Arab world. But I think that what you'll see is somebody who is listening, who is respectful, and who is trying to promote the interests not just of the United States, but also ordinary people who right now are suffering from poverty and a lack of opportunity. I want to make sure that I'm speaking to them as well.
Any decision on from where you will be addressing the Muslim world? Or
well, I'm not going to break the news right here.
Maybe next time.
But maybe next time. But it is something that's going to be important. I want people to recognize, though, that we are going to be making a series of initiatives. Us sending George Mitchell to the Middle East is fulfilling my campaign promise that we're not going to wait till the end of my administration to deal with Palestinian and Israeli peace. We're going to start now. It may take a long time to do, but we're going to do now. We're going to follow through on our commitment for me to address the Muslim world from a Muslim capital. We are going to follow through on many of my commitments to do a more effective job of reaching out, listening as well as speaking to the Muslim world. And you're going to see me following through with dealing with a drawdown of troops in Iraq so that Iraqis can start taking more responsibility. And finally, I think you've already seen a commitment in terms of closing Guantanamo and making clear that even as we are decisive in going after terrorist organizations that would kill innocent civilians, that we're going to do so on our terms, and we're going to do so respecting the rule of law that I think makes America great.